your life starts to change. Not loudly, not in a way that demands attention, just better. You take care of yourself more. You start making better money. You move differently, you think differently, and for a moment it feels good. Then something shifts, not in your life, but in the way people respond to it. You show someone something you're proud of, something you worked for, they smile, they nod, and then they ask one small question, and suddenly you don't feel the same anymore. Think about that. Nothing actually changed except a sentence, and that's how it works. They don't need to take anything from you. They just need to change how you see it. You buy something nice, you're excited, and someone says, "How did you afford that?" Not, "That looks great," not, "You deserve it," straight to your money. And without noticing it, you step into a room you never agreed to enter. A quiet courtroom where now you're explaining, now you're justifying, now you're defending something that never needed defense. And the moment you explain your happiness, you stop feeling it, because now it's no longer yours. It's something being evaluated, measured, questioned. And slowly you become both the person on trial and the one questioning yourself. Then it happens again. You talk about a decision, something new, something uncertain, something that matters to you. And they say, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" That's all it takes. You pause. You replay it in your head. You start thinking about what could go wrong. But they didn't stop you. They didn't block you. They just planted something small, a single thought, almost invisible. And once it's there, you take over. You feed it, you water it, you grow it, until that one thought becomes strong enough to stop you completely. And here's the uncomfortable part. When you start moving forward in life, you become a reflection, not of who they are, but of who they didn't become. Every step you take forces them to look at the steps they avoided, and that feeling is heavy. So instead of growing, they try to slow you down, not aggressively, not obviously, just enough to make you hesitate. And hesitation is all it takes. You don't lose when someone doubts you, you lose when you start seeing yourself through that doubt. The moment you start explaining yourself, you give up control. You start reacting instead of choosing, adjusting instead of deciding, performing instead of living. It's like stepping onto a stage where the script is already written, and somehow you're no longer the author. From that point on, you don't do what feels right, you do what feels acceptable. And the truth is, they don't need to defeat you, they don't need to prove anything. They just need to make you question yourself long enough for you to start pulling yourself back. Then comes something even quieter. You're doing well, you feel good, you carry yourself differently, and someone says, "Don't you think that's a bit much?" Too confident, too visible, too different. But you're not too much. You're just visible in a place that's used to people hiding, and visibility is uncomfortable for people who aren't ready to be seen. When you stand out, you don't just show yourself, you create contrast, and that contrast makes people aware of where they're holding back. So instead of stepping forward, they try to push you back. This is the paradox of growth. The more you move, the more your presence alone makes other people uncomfortable, not because you're better, but because you're moving, and movement makes stillness obvious. And then comes the most subtle one. You do something well, you achieve something real, and someone asks, "Did someone help you with that?" It sounds harmless, almost supportive, but they didn't recognize your effort. They didn't acknowledge your ability. They looked for someone else to explain your result. Because accepting that you did it would force them to update how they see you, and that's uncomfortable. So instead, they adjust the story. They remove you from it, like erasing your name from something you built. And if you're not careful, you'll do it for them. You'll minimize yourself. You'll give away credit. You'll shrink your own success, just to make it easier for someone else to accept. So understand this clearly. None of these moments are random. None of them are really about you. They are about what your growth represents. Because growth creates distance, and not everyone is willing to cross it. So instead of moving forward, some people try to pull you back. Not loudly, not directly, but quietly through doubt. The next time this happens, don't rush to answer. Don't rush to explain. Just pause and ask yourself one question. Are they trying to understand me, or are they trying to reshape how I see myself? Because that answer will determine everything that comes next. Some people will celebrate you. Others will only be comfortable with you when you are smaller, less visible, less confident, less you. And the moment you start adjusting yourself to make them comfortable is the moment you start losing yourself. So don't. Keep moving, keep growing, keep becoming, and remember this: the moment you start explaining your light is the moment you start dimming it. And some people will only accept you when you're no longer shining. If this felt real to you, I want to hear from you. What's one question someone asked you that made you doubt yourself, even for a moment? Tell me in the comments.